Okay, everybody, the guest of honor has finally arrived. We've been waiting for you, Mr. David Allen Sibley.
Well, we got distracted by a few birds out there, so
That sounds like a good thing.
it is.
Now,
It is.
okay, you are like the guru. You are the man. We are so excited to have you here. You are like, they were telling me all about all of the work you have done, your cataloging of birds and your field guides you've made. Tell me how you got started.
Well, I've been interested in birds and drawing as long as I can remember, and I was lucky to have an ornithologist for a father, which probably had something to do with my early interest in birds, but also opened up a lot of opportunities. So I just grew up with my main interest was birds as a kid. I loved watching them, learning about them, and just put it all together.
Well, everyone says that your true gift is you are able to not only know about them, but draw them. You're able to draw them. And I'm being handed, I think, what would be called the Bird Bible. I was told that by Mr. Bill Fenimore. So tell me about this book. This is a second edition. If you're a new bird person getting into bird watching, what would we want to do with this?
Well, you get the book.
Okay.
And the
First
book
edition?
The first edition came out in 2000. This is the completely revised second edition that came out in 2014.
Okay.
And what I recommend for a beginning birder is you get the book, and it's pretty overwhelming because it's 900 species of birds,
Wow.
all of North America.
Uh-huh.
So just spend some time at home flipping through the pages and getting familiar with some of the weird names like egrets and vireos and orioles. All these, well, people know what orioles are, I guess.
There are those cookies.
It's a baseball team.
Oh, I was thinking of Oreos, but I know you were saying Orioles. But you have cataloged every single bird in North America. You've seen them, you've like photographed them, and then drawn pictures and figured out how they move. I was getting all kinds of information on you before you got here about how if a bird is like just taking flight, you know what it is. How?
Yeah, it's it's a lot of time in the field, a lot of experience, and you get to know the birds the same way you get to know your friends and relatives. And you can be on a crowded street and see someone walking ahead of you, and just by the way they walk, the way they move, you say, "Oh, that's my brother," or "That's my friend."
Wow.
And birds, when you get familiar with them and spend enough time getting to know them, it's the same way. You just see something flash across the road and say, "Oh, that was a Buick's Wren."
Exactly. That is so fascinating, and what a cool way to think about it that way, because I can actually relate to that. I can definitely always tell Farrell when he's coming.
You said it's because I smell. You didn't say it with your body.
Well, he said all kinds of things. You use all of the senses. Farrell, I don't mean to hog the mic here. Do you have a question for our friend here?
I'm just concentrating on keeping the rain off of his head.
I know, it is a hard thing. You're doing really good at it, too. Well, jump in here.
The question I have is, how do you remember all those bizarre names of the birds? I mean, I can barely remember my own name.
This is true.
Halftime Holly's name.
We're calling him the fledgling Farrell Lafferty today, because I love that word. It's so fun.
I think learning the first 30 or 50 species is the hardest. And after that, it really starts to make sense. You understand, at first it's just weird to hear a name like vireo. You have no idea what a vireo is, but then you get to know a couple species of vireos,
And then that makes sense.
all the other vireos are related, and it's sort of like learning, the Millers or
Yeah.
the Johnsons.
Or like
They're-
breeds of dogs,
they're
I'm almost
family-
relating
there's
to.
family similarities. So
Yeah. Well, very cool. So you are here in Utah. Have you been to Utah, obviously, before to check out birds?
I have, yeah, a few times. And actually, when I was a kid, 1970, I came to the Bear River Refuge
Oh, wow.
and saw my very first white-faced ibis, Franklin's gull, a couple of other species here in
Nice.
Utah.
So we have
Was
some
that
birds to be proud of.
45 years ago.
And that was the last time you were here?
Oh no, I've been back a few times since, yes. I
Okay,
have.
good. Well, we are super happy to have you here today, and you're doing a number of lectures and workshops. And honestly, how many books do you have?
It's about, I think, 6 different titles in the Sibley Guide series.
That's awesome. And so if you need the Bird Bible, look up this David Sibley's name. You will find everything you need to know about birds and field guides and birds in North America and where to go to find them. And as far as being here at the Great Salt Lake Bird Festival, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
And braving the rain, is it fun in the rain?
The rain, it keeps the birds down a little bit. It gets on your binoculars, so it's harder to see them, but it really, it's fine. We had a fantastic morning, even with a little bit of rain.
Adds to the adventure. All right, well, thank you so much for talking with us. We will be right back right after this.